Welcome to Habitly Courses, a production of Manage to Win. Each course is divided into multiple lessons for easy viewing. All are now completely free, so you can watch them on your own or work through them as a team. Please subscribe to this channel, leave a comment, and share your favorite lessons with others. Try to find something that helps you be your best.
Hello, this is David Russell, and I'm back again. We're talking about catching concerns. This is lesson 5. This is when people stall, or there's emotions, or there's some statements that you can pick up on to catch the concern. And I loved lesson 4, but this one has some great content for you to consider. Stalling due to concerns is when people hesitate. Maybe they repeat questions if they've not done that before. They interrupt an answer to answer the question themselves. Maybe they answer a question with data unrelated to the question, or the last bullet point there, they're focused on trivial details instead of what's really significant. They're stalling. There's something wrong. And so any of these indicate a change in the baseline of them feeling good, so we need to pick up on it, unless it's part of their normal behavior. So you identify a stall, then what do? First thing you got to do is pause and think. Ask them direct questions at the time of the stall. Don't corner them. Don't make them feel threatened in any way, but confirm the cause, remove the concern. Don't rush the process. Now, I'm going to give you a sample probing question to a stall. This is longer than what I would use, but it gives you the idea. So keep in mind, too, what you see at the bottom there, your gut reaction to their stall often is accurate. So this is just a sample. There's a stall, and I say, well, I've been serving companies like yours for years, and I sense we're missing something. I just want to make certain you have everything you need to make a fully informed decision. Can we pause a moment and shift our focus to anything that might be a concern for you? That's pretty long, but with certain people, be a great response. Now, they may use qualifiers to avoid conflict, like fillers. If they're doing that, then there's some anxiety if it's different than their baseline. If they use fillers all the time, that's different. Or they may respond by saying, well, you may not believe this, but that's a yellow flag. This sounds complicated, but this may be hard to believe, but I'm not trying to confuse you, but you're right, but notice they got to put their big butt in it all the time? That's a problem. That's a problem. Okay? There's a concern there. So stay calm. Don't rush it. Work through it. And they may use qualifiers to add a concern. Maybe you're not picking up on it. And then they try to very gently slide it in. Incidentally, this thing happened. Or just one more thing. Boom. Or, I meant to ask, boom. By the way, boom. So these things are adding a concern. So once again, we're looking to cluster. So if there's hesitance in the pause, if there's a frustration or a sigh, or you pick up on some nervousness in a jittery laugh, these are all things, I'm giving you that you can watch for. I don't want you to be paranoid. But here's some other vocal attributes of concern. Everybody has a certain cadence, a rhythm for how they talk. There's a tone, there's a volume of words they use, there's a particular style there. If that changes, it might change because there's a concern. Maybe the pitch of their voice, which is the height or depth of sound, maybe that changes. Somebody goes to a high voice all of a sudden, like they're going back to puberty, right? Maybe there's a long pause after they speak, like they're carrying a weight. There's a burden there. They speak slower. There's more airs. There's more hesitations. Or the voice shifts to sounding kind of strained. So watch for these. Maybe it's the end of the day they're getting tired. Maybe it's their typical style of speech. Maybe it's not. You need to know the difference. Now, let me give you 7 common statements of concern or types of statements of concern. And remember, you're going to have an exam, so pay attention. Number one, there are reinforcing statements. So if I'm concerned about something you're saying, I might respond by saying, well, to tell you the truth, or to be honest, or I might say, I swear to God, boom. Well, why do you need to swear to God to make that comment? Why can't your yes be yes and your no be no type of thing? Reinforcing statements, watch for those. Number two, separation statements. So the person uses a euphemism to deny a concern. And this is the substitution of a mild, indirect, or vague expression for one thought to be offensive, harsh, or blunt. So there's a lack of emotion in the denial. They separate themselves from the concern. Well, I didn't really feel that way, but so-and-so has this thought that you might need to know about. Echo statements, number three. You ask a question, they repeat it back to you in its entirety. I brought this up before. Often referred to as an echo statement. Number four, distancing statements, referring to someone else as that guy rather than their name. Remember President Clinton when he denied having sex with Monica Lewinsky? I did not have sex with that woman. He was distancing himself from her. And they avoid using the personal pronoun I when making a statement. Number five, guilt trip statements. You're having a conversation and they try to put you on the defensive. And they want to get you distracted, proving you're not acting properly when you're really not doing anything wrong. So stay calm, pause, think about it, but watch for a guilt trip statement. They're trying to avoid, they're trying to deflect, they're trying to change the focus. Protest statements. Rather than be candid with you, the person reminds you that you did nothing in your past interactions that indicate that she is deceitful. All of a sudden, they're on the defensive. Well, wait a minute, why are they on the defensive? Okay. They say, basically, you've never questioned my integrity before. Why are you questioning it now? Well, wait a minute, am I questioning it now? So this means there's a concern, there's something going on. Ideally, we want to get to the bottom of it. We're trying to catch these concerns before they get too deep. This is number 6 of 7. Number 7 of 7 statements of concern. Micro or macro statements. So you ask about a concern and the person avoids repeating uncomfortable details. Maybe the person runs on. They're uncharacteristically wordy in their response, or they may respond, but they really don't answer the question. So that's considered a micro, something short, or a macro, something longer as far as a statement. So here's the list, resolving unknown concerns, of what you want to do when these 7 things or a cluster of them happens. So you pause. I sense you have a concern. Am I correct? Or word that in your own wording. Person answers. Okay, and the reason you're concerned is, and if you're doing active listening, you're going to repeat back what you heard them say. Okay, and they're going to answer. And you may jump at that point to, well, what needs to happen for you to feel better about that, to try to resolve it? Or you may, based on what they say, well, that's interesting. Are there any other concerns that you have? So you have to decide, are you going to try to group the concerns if you think there's more than one, or do you want to kind of nail one at a time? Oftentimes, it's easier to take care of one by following this process. I sense you have a concern, am I correct? And the reason you're concerned is because I explain, well, what needs to happen for you to feel better about that? Then I confirm that we're going to get you feeling better about that. Okay, do you have any other concerns? Most of the time, one at a time, it's going to be more effective. So I remember hearing a story years ago. It was told by a woman speaker. I do not remember who she was. She said her father was a manager of prize fighters, boxers, okay? And this was not high-end stuff. So one night, and she was a kid, she was with her father, there was a fight, and her father's fighter was thought to be cheating. And in this arena, everybody was really upset. Looked like it was going to be a riot. Looked like they were going to kill his fighter, okay? Because they were losing money, right? They're betting on this stuff. Fight is over. His fighter wins. It's pretty scary. His father turns to his daughter and the fighter, who's scared, and says, "Follow me." And he steps out of the ring, and somebody steps up to him, he pulls back his fist to punch that guy fades away. He takes another step or two, another guy steps in front of him like he's going to hit him. He pulls back his fist like he's going to hit that guy. That guy steps away. And they marched out of that arena that way, all the way to safety, taking care of one concern at a time. Keep that in mind. This is lesson 5. Bring in some real life scenarios to talk about. This is great stuff that I've collected and experienced in my own experience from years and years in business. You can apply this. Think of things that have not gone so well, but if you had caught the concerns earlier, you'd caught the stall, you caught the emotion, maybe some statements that people were making, you could have handled it better. Answer these 5 questions, prepare yourself for the exam. Take the exam, pass the exam with an 80% or higher score. This is the conclusion of lesson 5. Thanks a lot. Bye for now.